Alright, in today's video we're going to talk about this DIY storage loft that I built out of one sheet of plywood OSB, and it cost about $50. Plus, depending on if you have some hardware already or if you're going from scratch, you have no tools, it might cost you a little bit more, but more or less $50 to $80 if you want to. Then just keep on watching. I'm not an expert framer or anything like that, so take that for what it is. I'm not going to say that this is the most expert or correct way to do something, but you can get it done. And if you're a homeowner and you need some more space for your seasonal decorations or just anything really, you can check it out and learn what I did to make it happen. So Halloween's coming up. It's middle of August, so I need to get this project jump started so I have this stuff ready to set up in September. And you can see all my seasonal stuff here is organized on this loft, and this is not even very organized. I need to sort of get it into a better system, but I just built this, I think, early summer, put it together, and it'll take this stuff. If you're a homeowner, then you'll know it just takes time and you have to be patient with everything. If you have, real world priorities, then you just have to take it slow and not get too overwhelmed. But here it is. It probably could bear 500 pounds or more on top, or I mean realistically probably 1,000 if you were a ballsy person. It's probably got 200 pounds up there right now. I went up there and danced on it. I weigh 175 and it was not moving. Could use some more support on the cross framing here, but for what it is, it works really well. And you could see the sort of technique I used with this. And again, I'm not an expert framer or anything. I used some brackets on the front where I didn't want to put any more support on the 45s here because it would hinder my access in. If I wanted to come in, I didn't want to have to like really crouch. Still have to crouch because I'm like 6'1", and I'm right to the top. I kind of built it that way. Let's see if you can see that. I'm like right here to the top. And so I just wanted to have it be an accessible thing that you can use to organize your stuff and keep it off the ground, put it into some bins, and have twice the amount of space, or even more really, because before it was all lined up on the walls here, and this whole section of the garage, which is a bump out, and not everybody's gonna have a bump out in their garage, so I'm kind of fortunate to have this. But before, everything was kind of like crammed in here and it was all overflowing. There was no access that you could really get in there, and it's still not super organized, but for what it is, I'm happy with it. And after this season, I'll take some time. I had to sneeze, excuse me. Take some time to reorganize it once I pull it all out and probably get a better storage solution underneath. But yeah, this was about $50 to $80 depending on what you already have. OSB, construction, 2x4s, and 1x2s where I could save some weight and money, to be honest, because it was kind of like pieced together. You could see the really fresh stuff that I bought new, and then you could see the stuff that's like pieced on here. And some people might call me crazy, whatever. I don't care. Again, brackets up in the corners. This is kind of not the, I guess, code correct way to to frame out a loft, but you know, it's not a permanent structure, and it's just adding some more storage options. I've got cross members on 3 out of the 4 sides in different levels. So got the main one going across, and then we got the 2 on each end with 45 supports coming forward. And I didn't do them on the back because I ran out of wood, and that's just honestly, that's just how it is. This wasn't supposed to be like a like masterpiece of carpentry by any means. This was meant to get complete, so I had storage solutions in the garage, and it's been up for several months now, or yeah, 3 months, and it's doing fine, absolutely fine. It's not going anywhere, and this thing is simple as can be. So anybody, I feel like, could make this, and it's not like complicated. There's no crazy cuts. I literally took a saw and cut 45s on certain pieces, and then I tried to keep all of the wood at full lengths for the most part. I mean, it's not possible totally, but as few cuts as possible. So using one sheet of 4x8, and then using the full length of like an 8-foot, what is this, a 1x2 it looks like, and then just kind of simple framing and getting it up there. Again, this isn't really a step-by-step instruction. This is just an example, because I haven't seen much on YouTube for examples of lofts like this. In fact, one of my first videos on YouTube like 10 years ago was a video very similar to this, which is funny because we've come full circle, and this construction was a lot better than my first one, although I did use lag bolts in my first loft, and that was a lofted bunk bed, but everything else was kind of all over the place. But this is kind of like a throwback to that. I'm not afraid to just do things whether or not they're completely right, and I went to school for architecture and building technology, so I could definitely frame something better and more to code, but in certain scenarios that's just gonna slow me down personally, because this isn't made for something that's like gonna be inspected and needs to be perfect. If it was to be perfect, it would take me way longer, and I might not ever do it, because that's how my sort of procrastination and anxiety works. So I just went out there, I drafted the design and everything, like a really crude design, and then I just put it together because it saved me a lot of money. Again, this was about, I think it was between 50 and 80. I'm sorry I don't have like the receipts and everything, but I think I shot for 50 and I ended up spending like in between that, but I also have tools and everything. Now, if you come over here and look at one of these, heavier duty storage racks, which I actually got these for free on Facebook Marketplace. Somebody had posted a storage unit that they wanted cleaned out, and I saw that there was like 10 of these in there with a bunch of junk on them. And I went in there and cleaned out the junk and took just the racks and some other things. But those things new cost about $60 to $70. So here we are with a 4x8 surface to work with for storage. And so now I could stack all the way up. I won't do that just because it's a fire hazard, and there's already a couple fire hazards in this video, so just don't kill me in the comments. But it works, and there hasn't been a fire, and it's really not extraneous or anything. So yeah, you could stack up there, stack down here, build some shelves to go in there, and I'm gonna put this on casters eventually. I don't want it to be too done inside, like as far as so much storage that it's just not practical to maintain, because I do come in here and spray it with pesticides and like bug killers to make sure that there's not any, I mean, as much as I can, stop bugs from coming in here, you know. I try to keep the crevices nice and clean so that there's no spiders growing, things like that. But you could see how much space we're saving in here, and I have space for my tools here, for my yard tools. I just think it's it's really practical. Cost savings are huge, and it's like gonna save you a lot. And you could go so many different directions with something like this. You could make a small like workbench underneath that, and yada yada yada. But anyways, I just wanted to show off that Halloween storage loft, or whatever you're gonna use it for, storage loft. Just to give an example, again, not really a tutorial. I don't know if I've ever made a proper tutorial on YouTube, but the way that I like to see different creations and ideas is just through example. And then for me, I'm better at just taking from that example and either using it and doing it directly from just seeing it, or making my own idea or design from it. So that's it, and the next video will be me going through this stuff because I'm actually doing it right now. I just wanted to get this video out there, and I'm going to do an inventory of all the Halloween stuff so that we can get started on the projects and make sure we're ready for September. See you on the next one.